Hey everyone, it's time for another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario. This is scenario 5.6, the final scenario of level 5. We're at the sculptor's lair, where at this location, when you fail a dexterity check or exceed its difficulty by 5 or more, you are dealt 1d4 combat damage. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. We're with the character Alahazra. Advancing the Blessings deck, and we get a hyena. So check to defeat combat 9 when you examine this card. Okay, we didn't examine this card. So this will be a fairly straightforward thing. We don't have to do a dexterity check here. So we can use the heat metal spell to discard this card to add 1d4 and the fire trait to a combat check by a character at your location. Sure, let's do that. We also have a trigger. So Alahazra has that ability where she can recharge a card to add 1d8 to your check against a bane that has a trigger trait. So we'll recharge a Blessing of Horus. We're going to discard the heat metal spell and do a combat check. So her strength is d6, the heat metal is a d4, and we have a d8. And we're adding a total of +1 to this roll. Okay, so we rolled a 5 and a 3 is 8, and a 7 is a 15. So more than enough. This monster is banished. It's a basic monster. I mean, this is one of the very few illustrations I really don't care for. I mean, a hyena with the little armor on there. Just make it a normal hyena. Oh well. A little criticism, not much. Okay, so now the heat metal spell is succeeded in a divine 9 check to recharge. That's pretty awesome. Because Alahazra here, has to just roll a divine. So her divine skill is d10 plus 7. So we rolled a 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we are able to recharge the heat metal spell. Pretty awesome. And what we'll do now is we will recharge or reset our hand. And we will now advance the Blessings deck. And let's see what we get. Okay, we get Sightless Starvation. It's a trigger. So that means that we are going to be able to use a d8 bonus when we recharge a card, thanks to Alahazra's special power. So first we need to do Wisdom, Survival, Charisma, Diplomacy 12. So those are our checks, and we have to do 2 of those. So the first thing we're going to do, well, we have the Blessing of Thoth. Discard this card to add 2 dice to any Wisdom non-combat check. Sure, let's go ahead and just do that. So we'll do the Wisdom. Well, actually, if we do that, we can't do the Survival check, because our Survival is Wisdom +2, and right now we have a Wisdom modifier of +3. So we could, if we do the Survival check, we have a straight up +5 modification. So we're going to do +5 modification. So we can use the first part of the Blessing of Thoth. Discard this card to add 1 die and the cold trait to any check. So we'll use the first part. We get to roll 2d8. Our Wisdom is a +5 modifier. And we're going to use Alahazra's special ability where we can recharge a card to add a d8. Okay, so for that first check, straight up, 3d8 +5. Okay, so I'm glad I rolled that extra die. So 6, and it is 14, and 5, so 19. So we make the first check. That was a Wisdom check, or a Survival. So now we're going to do the Diplomacy, which is Charisma +2. Our Charisma has a +4. So for the Charisma check, it's a straight up d10 +6. And we will go ahead and use Alahazra's ability with the trigger trait to recharge a card to add a d8. So we're adding 2 dice, and we're adding 6 to this roll. So we roll a 6, and a 6 is a 12, and an 18. Okay, so we passed both checks. Very cool. Okay, so the barrier is defeated. We didn't have to do any dexterity checks there. We did use quite a few cards, but most of them were recharged, so that's fortunate. Okay, the hand is reset. We're advancing the Blessings deck, and we get the Hide Armor of Fire Resistance. Okay, it's a level 2 armor, so not too excited about that. Alahazra, her constitution is a d6 only. We really don't feel like spending blessings on this card, so it's going to be an auto fail. Alright, advancing the Blessings deck. The hand is fine. We get the Staff of Revelations. Okay, it's a level 3 item. It says reveal this card, recharge a spell, examine cards. Well, Alahazra can already examine cards. And it's an Intelligence Arcane 10 check. So we really don't need this card. I mean, it's pretty nifty. It'd be nifty if we weren't Alahazra, but since Alahazra can already examine cards, we need it. Our intelligence is a D8, so this is also going to be an auto fail. So we're not too interested in that card. Okay, advancing the Blessings deck. We're exploring. We get Dredge. So when you would encounter a boon, okay, that's his ability. So Charisma Diplomacy 8. Oh, let's see what we roll. Our Charisma is, our Diplomacy is actually Charisma +2. So we have a +6 modifier to this D10. So 6, 7. Well, how about that? So we did not acquire this new Halfling Rogue Aspis Dredge Fellow. Alright. The hand is fine. Advancing the Blessings deck. Okay, we get a Royal Naga. So, this is going to be 2 combat 16 checks. So you may succeed at a stealth 8 check to evade the Royal Naga. For each combat check, randomly choose a card that you can play that is a weapon or has the attack trait and play it. Oh, interesting. If the check to defeat has a coil trait, add 1d8. So we do not have any of that. Okay, so it's just an aberration. Let's see, what are we going to do here? 2 combat 6 checks. So it says for each combat check, randomly choose a card that you can play that is a weapon or has the attack trait. Okay, so right now, the only one we can actually use is the Fiery Glare. So that means that since in our hand, that's the only thing we have. That's pretty much the only card. So we're going to have to just go ahead and use the Fiery Glare spell. I'm pretty sure that's how we're doing it right. So randomly choose a card that you can play. So the only card we can play is Fiery Glare. D10 plus 2d4. It's not really looking that great for Alahazra. We're just going to go ahead and roll these dice, see what we get. So we rolled a 9, 10, 11. Our Divine skill was actually a +7. So that works out for the first one. So 9, 10, 11. So we have 18 total. We only need a 16. We're going to see if we recharge Fiery Glare, and we do. But now, unfortunately, we have to do another combat check, and we don't have anything that has the attack or is a weapon. You can lay there's a weapon or has the attack trait. So yeah, so we don't have anything else in our hand that has the attack trait. No other cards. So we do have a Blessing of Pharasma. So we could do a straight up combat or strength check, but that's only a D6. And okay, so what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and I wonder what we should do here. Well, this next check is just an auto fail, so it's kind of sad. But we do have the this armor. So it says here, bury this card to reduce combat damage to 0. But if proficient with light armors, we can discard it again. We can discard it instead. So we'll discard that. We did not defeat the Royal Naga. It was just too tough. We didn't have any cards in our hand. So there's 5 cards left in the location deck. Randomly determining which card is on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that card. We're going to reset our hand. We're going to toss some cards that we don't like. And getting back to our hand size of 8. We are now advancing the Blessings deck. And okay, Royal Naga's back. So this time we have an Eruption spell, we have a Staff of Dark Flame, and we have the Sirocco spell, or the Sirocco spell. So for each combat check, randomly choose a card that you can play that is a weapon or has the attack trait and play it. Okay, so we're going to just randomly roll. 1, 2, 3 it's Eruption, 1, 2 Eruption, 3, 4 Staff of Dark Flame, 5, 6 Sirocco. Okay, so we're going to be using the Eruption spell. So it's our Arcane skill, D10 plus 4d6. Okay, we like our odds here. We're just going to keep it. And what's so cool is it's for your combat check. So we could ignore any non-villain's power that happens after you act. So nothing going on there with that. Okay, so we rolled really low here. So we rolled 3, 6, and 8 is 11, and 6 is 17. We added 7 to that roll, so we actually were successful with the first combat check. We're rolling to see if we charge eruption, and we don't. So eruption spell is discarded. But now it's our choice of either doing the Staff of Dark Flame on a 1, 2, 3, or the Sirocco spell. So randomly determining, so we can only use the Staff of Dark Flame. So it is, because it is a weapon. Okay, so for the Staff of Dark Flame, we're not taking any chances. We're going to discard it. So we get to roll 3d6. We get to add 1, and that's where we're at. 3d6, adding 1. So we rolled a total of 10, 11. We could bump that up 12, 13, 14, and then we can use Maga 3 fingers to make that a 17 total. So with the Blessing of Maga 3 fingers, that was a +6. The Staff of Dark Flame gave us a +7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. Okay, so by using all of those cards, fortunately we get to recharge Maga 3 fingers. The Royal Naga is defeated. Wow, that took a lot of effort. Very interesting card. We are resetting our hand now. We're kind of getting low on our deck of cards for Alahazra, but not quite. Advancing the Blessings deck. Okay, we get our villain here. So this villain is immune to the electricity trait before you act if another character is at your location. Okay, so that will not take effect. So, immune to the electricity trait, which is really sad because we can't use our Jolting Portent spell. But fortunately we can use our Sirocco spell because it just is a fire. Alright, so we're very fortunate there. We also have a Blessing of Farazwa, so we can add 2 dice to any check. When a spell is played during a check, discard to add 2 dice. Well, we'll definitely do that so we can roll 3d10. So we are rolling 3d10 and we get to roll 3d8. So, and we get to add a total of 7 to this check. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Let's see what we get here. So we get 2, 3, so we get 10 there. We get 17, we get 18, 19, 26, and we add 7. 26 and 7 is 33. Wow, and it says here, if the result of the check to defeat is less than 35, check off the traitor Trove of Tev Naju on the Bazaar card. So let's just double check to make sure we did that right. We were able to add a total of +7 thanks to our divine skill. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 17, 18, 19, 24, 25, 33. Okay, so very cool. So not only do we defeat the villain, but we get the traitor as well. So that we'll roll to see if we recharge the Sirocco spell, and we did. We rolled a 7, so we needed a divine of 13. We rolled a 14. We are resetting our hand. We are able to. We had 3 cards left in our the character's deck. All right, so the Sculptor's Lair, that was the villain. That means that we were able to close that location. Alright, so that was the final scenario of level 5. Let's go ahead and we'll do a quick deck check here for Alahazra so you can see where she's at the end of level 5. Used up a lot of cards there. That was a pretty exciting adventure. I liked it. So where we're at with Alahazra at the end of level 5. She has that blessing and this one. She has the Staff of Dark Flame. She has that eruption spell. She has this ally still, locate object. She's got that armor, very beneficial. She's got these blessings. She's got that great level 5 spell. She's got the Wand of Scorching Ray, a really cool acquisition there. that ally, this blessing, she's got the Ring of the Grasping Grave. Find Trap spell has been helping her out all campaign. And there we go. Okay, so that's a quick look at her deck. So we did the deck check. The reward for this scenario was a power feat. So Alahazra has the Seeker role. And so let's go ahead and zoom in on her Seeker status. Okay, so what we're going to do here with the Seeker role, we already, for the last power feat, we gave her a hand size of 8. So really it's just a question, because we're only going to get one more power feat, I believe, after this. I was looking at this. You may recharge a blessing to examine the top 2 or 3 or 4 cards of any location or any deck. So I really think it would be really cool to randomly examine the 2 cards of any deck and put them back in any order, because that way we can actually do some shenanigans with the blessing deck later on. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as the power that she gains. So we'll see if we ever use that power or not. But we're not going to go visit a trader. We didn't really gain enough high-powered or high-level loot cards that scenario. So that's where we're at in the campaign. The next scenario is going to be Scenario Adventure 6.1, beginning level 6. And we're going to be wrapping up the campaign soon. Alright, well, thanks so much for watching. Great adventure. And I'll have another adventure up for you shortly.